All right, so TikTok, right. It's everywhere you turn. And everyone's trying to figure it out. I'm going to deep dive into that today. All those viral videos, it's like, what's the secret?
And it's not just about dances, right? Like whether you're a business or just curious.
Yeah.
Understanding TikTok, it's kind of essential these days.
You almost need like a PhD to understand how the For You page works, honestly.
Well, the thing is, it all boils down to keeping people on the app.
Okay, so less about showcasing creators and more about just like keeping people hooked.
Well, yeah, every scroll, every extra second someone's watching, that tells the algorithm something.
So it's seriously watching everything.
Oh, yeah, every little thing.
So like walk me through this. What's the process? I post a video. What happens next?
Okay, so it's like a test. Your video goes out to a small group first, almost like a sample audience.
Right.
And TikTok is watching how they react.
Oh, man. This is giving me anxiety on your behalf.
Yeah.
So they're looking for people to watch the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Those views.
Views are good, but honestly, it's all about the watch time. The longer, the better.
So someone just scrolling by in half a second, that's not doing me any favors.
Not really, no. And it goes beyond watching, too. Likes, comments, shares, it all matters.
So engagement is key. But how do you actually make content that does all that? Because there's a lot out there.
You gotta understand trends.
Okay, so what's the secret? What makes something trendy on TikTok?
Music, for one.
Yeah.
Like that Jiggle Jiggle song.
Oh, I remember that.
Right. People who use that sound in their videos. Huge spike in views. But the thing is, timing is everything.
It's like you got to be ahead of the curve or something.
Kinda, yeah. Like by the time you hear about it, it might be too late. But it's not enough to just be trendy.
Right, because there's a lot of that out there.
You gotta have that authenticity, you know?
So you've got to be yourself. Don't be fake.
Exactly.
Okay, how do we find that balance between trendy and authentic?
It's all about storytelling.
In like 15 seconds.
Well, it's not about cramming a whole movie in there. Little details, personal stories, you know?
So embrace the imperfections.
Yeah, exactly. People can spot a fake.
Totally. Okay, I'm feeling inspired, but also my messy bedroom is not going to cut it visually. How important is like the actual production quality? So my messy bedroom, probably not going to cut it for a viral TikTok, right?
Yeah.
But do I need like a whole film crew to make this work?
No, you don't need a Hollywood production or anything. Honestly, your phone can do wonders if you know what you're doing. Like, good lighting is super important.
Okay, yeah.
Natural light is best. But even if you just make sure your face is well lit, it makes a difference.
No more filming in the dark. Got it. What about sound? I feel like people forget about that.
Oh, yeah. Big mistake. A lot of people watch TikToks without the sound on at first, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So if the audio's bad, we're going to scroll right past. Use headphones if you can, especially for voiceovers.
And captions, right. Got to remember those. Not just for people who have the sound off, but accessibility too.
Definitely. And speaking of making things easier, have you heard of CapCut?
Yeah, I think so.
It's a free editing app. It's made by TikTok's parent company, actually, and it's really good.
I downloaded it once,
Yeah.
but then I got overwhelmed and gave up.
It's gotten even easier. They have AI features now. Like you can automatically sync your videos to music.
Oh, wow. See, this is why I need you. Okay, so the video itself, check. But what about all the other stuff? Like hashtags and captions. Do those really matter?
Absolutely. Think about it. You could have the best video ever, but if no one sees it...
It's like that tree falling in the woods thing, right?
Exactly. Hashtags are how people find your content.
So how do you use hashtags the right way?
It's about finding that balance, right? You want some general hashtags like hashtag TikTok, hashtag VIP.
Okay, so those are like the basics.
Right. But then you get more specific. So let's say your video is about baking bread. You'd use hashtags like hashtag bread, hashtag baking.
So it's like a funnel. You start broad,
Yeah.
then get more specific.
Yeah, exactly. And the caption, don't underestimate that, is your chance to add some personality, some context.
Get people to actually watch the whole thing.
Yes. And this is where a call to action comes in.
Ooh, what's that?
Just tell people what you want them to do. Ask a question. Tell them to follow for more.
I like it. Okay, this is a lot to remember. Any tips for like staying organized? I'm not always the best at that.
Planning is your best friend.
Okay.
I know. It sounds boring, but even just a little planning can make a huge difference.
Okay, so what does that look like TikTok planning?
Yeah.
Okay, planning. I'm more of a go with the flow kind of person, but all right. What does that even look like for TikTok?
It doesn't have to be anything crazy, like a content calendar. Just jot down some video ideas.
Just so you have like a starting point.
Yeah.
Right.
And don't be afraid to try different stuff. Maybe your audience loves behind the scenes things or like cook tutorials. You never know.
Gotta find what works. So.
Exactly. And speaking of what works, analytics.
Data. I mean, I like a good spreadsheet, don't get me wrong, but
It can be a lot.
yeah. Any tips for like not getting lost in there?
TikTok's is actually pretty easy to use. When you switch to a creator account, you see all this info, views, watch time, even like who your audience is.
So like where they're from, all that.
Yeah, it's super useful. See which videos are doing well, look for patterns.
So it's all connected. You post, you see what happens, and then you make more stuff based on that.
Exactly. Gotta adapt. Right. Who knows, maybe you'll be teaching me about TikTok one of these days.
Ha ha ha, I doubt it. But this has been awesome. Seriously, I feel like I'm finally getting TikTok.
That's what we like to hear. And hey, remember to have fun with it.
Oh, for sure. Easy to get caught up in the numbers and all that. But really, it's about, connecting with people.
100%. And hey, you might even go viral along the way.
There you go. If my messy bedroom can go viral, anything's possible. This was great. Thanks for the deep dive. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Get out there and create.
We will.
Yeah.
And to everyone listening, keep experimenting. Don't be afraid to be yourselves and hit that record button, right? Yeah. You never know what could happen.